Hi everyone, do you have any favorite characters in Genshin Impact, for example? If so, I bet you've seen tons of fan art, animations, and unofficial merch out there. But have you ever wondered why have us all of us to do all this? Unlike Nintendo, which might sue you for a single screenshot or a cardboard console, my name is Red Glove. I am an animator artist and a love student. Let's figure this out together. Let's start with the basics. To better understanding the situation, I'm sure you all heard the term copyright. Sounds fancy, right? Simply put, it consists of the economic and moral rights of the creator. In our case, we know that Dottore, let's use him as an example, was created by Hervos, which means they hold the copyright. Moral rights to Dottore, all of Hervos too, claim authorship of the work, require the name to be created whenever Dottore is used, whenever practically possible, prohibit the use of their name in Kitty cases. Yes, that happens too. Prohibit any destruction of the character. For example, if Hoyos decides tomorrow that Dottore is a kind doctor who loves ponies and bans everyone from drawing him as an evil genius, that's their legal rights to protect their integrity of the image. And the last, realize their creation under a pseudonym. To sum it up, the right of authorship means that the only actual creator can call themselves the author of the work, and all another individuals must indicate the author's name when using the work. The right of authorship establishes the fact that Dottore created by our beautiful company Hoivers, which is important in context of public evaluation, not only the work but also of the author. And another interesting detail is the author's right to publish their work, meaning that only authors decided when to realize the story from the basement of their drafts. As for economic rights, this is all about money. As sung in the musical cabaret, money makes the world go round. Yes, world go round. I think you have encountered most of them one way or another. But let's take a look at our list. First of all, the rights to use the work, meaning that only others and no one else, if they don't have special license, can use Dottore. The second one, the exclusive right to authorize the use of their work. So others can not only prohibit but also authorize the use of Dottore, draw it, show their drawings to the public, cosplay, and other. And the right to prevent illegal use for a work, including prohibiting such use. The third one, the right to prevent illegal use of a work, including prohibiting such use, is somewhat similar to the two previous points, yes. But the key here is illegal use. I mean, if someone decides to start illegally using Dottore, for example, Dottore promote an underground casino, then holders can stop such use without hesitation. Rights to payment for use of the creation. Yes, guys, if Hogwarts wants to, they can force all content creators to pay them for using the Dottore. Such payment can be made on a money basis or for each use of Dottore separately. I mean, it would be a terrible situation where every author would have to pay for every video with Dottore. Imagine this. Every piece of art, every cosplay. Just imagine how much paperwork would be just to discuss the point on your channel. Guys, it's really terrible. Unlike moral rights, economic rights have a limited duration, which ends 70 years after death of the author or the last of the co-authors. This clock starts ticking on 1st January of the year following the author's death. But that's for ordinary people. As for giants like hers, the timer starts from the moment they just showed us the character. Let's say Dottore was first shown to the world in a teaser in 2024. That means we count 70 years from that date, more from 1st January of the following year. In 2093, Dottore will become public domain, even if however still further than a crocodile named public domain will begin to quickly creep up on him, slightly nodding him. This is the same fate that befell the first design of Mickey Mouse just last year, if I'm right. Then our descendants will be able to do almost anything they want with the Torah without fear. Why almost? Oh, guys, now this is interesting because moral rights are unlimited. And even if our beloved company dies, rights such as the right to name and the right to oppose distortion, mutilation, or their modification of their work or any other infringement of the work that may damage the honor and reputation of the hour will be protected by law. Cool, right? So quickly leave your dirty thoughts at the door. You don't stand a chance. So we're done with the basics, and something tells me that after everything you heard, there's only one question in your mind. If Hogos has such powerful leverage, why don't they use it and let us continue to create? They have the opportunity to earn more than they do from character banners. Citizens, take a breath. We'll shout everything out now because it's quite interesting how money makes the world go round, especially our favorite company, and not only them. I thought Nintendo should be removed from this list. These guys are cool and have chosen a different strategy to promotion and earning money. Modern companies operate according to a cool strategy called UGC, User Generation Content. And guess what? That's right, you become a very convenient living promotion billboard for the game. Then you drop the Dottore, animate him, or make memes. You are working as a free marketing department. In this way, you maintain interest in the game between updates. You create an emotional attraction. Guys, I don't think you can quite in the game when you have your favorite character in there. You bring new players because most people see an active fandom which lots of memes, conspiracy theories, and bunch of skilled artists who draw different characters for every taste. So, to be honest, I became Genshin player because I saw a lot of art featuring Venti, who is still my favorite character this day, even thought I haven't played the game in over a year. It was this strategy that promoted Hoyo to create brilliant offer, which is addressed to an undefined group of people. You can find it on their official website and read about it. It's called Public Offer for Fans. It's just awesome, guys. What is it all about? I explained. The funny thing is, it's a legal document that says, hey, artist will officially allow you to use our characters, but subject to several conditions. And this is where it gets interesting. It's not just kindness, it's controlled freedom. They all of us to make money on merchandise up to 500 units for a solo player. In 2026, that's a lot of money. But at the same time, they receive the right to come and say stop if you go too far. By the way, when it comes to character figures, this is where our first problem arises. If you suddenly want to create several figures, maybe Dottore figures, or gacha toy with him, you will have to fill out one of the forms, the type of which will depend on whether you are a natural or a legal person. And the number of forms for a legal person will be a little bit another. After filling out the application, you will need to send the correctly completed form to the specified email address and guys, then simply wait to see if you're approved or not. Equally important is that you must not register your fan ad as a trademark under the circumstances. In other words, Dottore in your style is your drawing, but however still own the rights to the character. You are essentially renting it for free. Oh, yes. I almost forgot. There's one more important point. Reputation protection. If your art featuring Dottore advertises something damage the company image too much, then the lawyers will remember those non-property rights I mentioned at the beginning. So guys, where is our freedom ends? How can we avoid that dreaded pain later from however's? It's quite simple, really. Just remember a few rules that will help you avoid the worst. The official trap. You're not allowed to design your product or video such a way that people think it's official merchandise from Hoyoverse. You cannot use their logos, GenshinImpact, however, as the main design elements or write official Dottore merch. If the buyer is confused and think they bought something from Hoyoverse instead of you have crossed the line. In legal terms, this is called misleading the customer. The second one, mass production. Remember the number of 500? That's your Safari limit. If you print 10,000 Dottore keychains and start selling them through large retail chains or Amazon or something like that, you're no longer a lone artist. You're an industrial pirate. Hoyo is very loyal to crafters and fans, but they instantly turn into business sharks if they see money flowing out of their control and illegal content. This is a delicate matter. Maya usually turns a blind eye to many things. Yes, we're all aware of the existence of that content on Rule 34, but if you use their characters to promote something illegal, political, or hateful, you crossed the line. They offer clearly states that content must not avoid the lamb of moral standards. Legally, they can strike back at you for damage to the author's honor and dignity, which we talked about at the very beginning. So remember, guys, as long as you're a white and fluffy artist who honestly says this is my fanat based on Genshin, and you're not trying to build a factory to produce Dottore, you're safe. Well, let's finally gather together everything we're learning today. Despite the fact that copyright seems very scary, especially for artists, because it's a real hedge there's no need to be afraid of. It's not like there's a solicitor sitting in every cupboard waiting to serve you with account summons. In reality, everything is based on a fragile but very profitable agreement between the creator and the fan. Hoyo lets us play in the sandbox, and in return, we make this sandbox the most popular in the world. As they say, the love is not an elephant that can be found everywhere. But in order not to anger this elephant unnecessary, remember these three rules. Respect authorship. Always indicate the original. Don't be greedy. Keep an eye on merchandise limits. Remain artist, not corporation. Now you know a little more about your favorite character protection and why your own art is your fortress as long as you play by the rules. Let's thank our beautiful guest Dottore for being a good legal example for us today, and let him get back to work on his experiments. Come on, dear, get out of here already. I hope you found this legal speed paint useful. If so, please like and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss our next analysis, where we'll talking about maybe AI, contracts, and something else. Write in the comments which character or legal case interested you the most. Oh, and don't forget to check out the result of my creative efforts. The animation is already on the channel. So, this was Red Glove, created by Law and with love. Bye!